Hello boys and girls, welcome to this new episode. And things are getting a little more dusty this time around, as the first transformations are happening. Apart from that, we've been visiting archives, digging around in archives to find old plans and drawings of our building to understand the bones, the structure that holds this place up and together. And based on that, we are then trying to understand by looking into some hidden spaces and corners, how we can further transform and renovate those buildings to give them the functions that we intend for them. So that's how it's coming up now. And apart from that, some other news that we should definitely share with you. We now have a Patreon page on which we will be able to share some more background information, some exceptional news, some things for the ones that want to dig a little deeper together with us. So check that out. You'll find a link in the description below and on our YouTube channel profile. And enjoy the episode.
Hi guys, we find ourselves right now on an in-between floor, a semi-attic.
Because the original ceilings used to be 4 meters high and they lowered them to 2.75 meters, I think. So we have this kind of in-between space in which you can almost stand up, and it's kind of a lost
Proof of concept. Whoop.
space.
Well, here we are. Oh yeah, it's actually almost perfectly fitting my height. I'm 1.60 meters, so here we go. Almost 1.60 meters high.
So from our visit up here, we try to understand which walls are having a static function, carrying something, and which walls are neglectable walls, because potentially we would like to understand A, if we could open the ceilings to their original height, but also B, which walls could be opened up for creating potentially larger spaces, or at least give the spaces different functions.
And it's a big mess straight ahead of us. Maybe you can still see this. Over there we have the initial window heights, which are easy to depict. However, we have a hard time figuring out what this was about. It seems to have been coming in rather recently, maybe 60s, 70s. Was it an open or a bigger door? We don't know. At least here there's a larger steel beam that seems to connect all the way through. On top of it, someone created a little hole just to pass through. Yeah, here we have another of those rooms. We can understand the former windows, but those type of walls, which used to be in the former hallway, when did they appear?
Yeah, it's pretty weird. They're built by bricks placed on their sides. I cannot imagine it's a very static wall, carrying wall, but neither does it look that recent, so it's a bit puzzling. 1.08
So what we can understand from previous drawings and what is here also quite obvious, this wall was not original, as well as most of this wall. There's just a tiny pillar left on the bottom part and the ground floor, which is more decorative, so not even sure how carrying that is. So this all needs to go one day, including all of this isolation material. This is rock wool.
Maybe some type of mineral wool, I hope. Pretty sure glass wool, maybe. Glass wool, probably.
So in this space you can see the initial ceiling height reaching 4 meters from the ground to the top, 4.40 meters to be precise. And from down here it's a bit easier to understand which walls can go and which ones not, which ones are obsolete and which ones are original. Like here, for instance, this big wall is of course a carrying structure which we have to keep. And then we have some smaller spaces, like here, the center walls which we will then take out at some point. And Archibald has a perfect match today with this space. Look at that. This t-shirt is just like the line over there, and the grey is matching the wall color. I guess you just found the inspiration for the workshop outfits.
Yeah.
And some original wall that was done very, very roughly as it looks. Do you think it's original?
I just wonder if it was timber frame behind it or not.
Here we also still have a super nice initial original radiator. And again, we're back to the original ceiling height. Here we go. Well, we do have a little bit of a leakage problem. Not just one, but a few. And actually, just removed one of those issues which we tried to collect down here. And it was raining quite heavily through there. And, well, the bucket couldn't stop it. So those spaces, they have been transformed at some point into another living space with, yeah, marvelous decoration, beautiful paper, and unfortunately a broken roof. Here's the master again. Let's pray to the weather gods it's not going to rain anymore. Hey, Mr. Gods, don't you
Let's pray to the finance god that we can redo the roof.
Also, so here we find original bricks. But Archibald, how do we identify original from non-original?
Well, identify is a big word, but we differentiate between walls that contain these kind of massive bricks that were used before GDR times. Then during GDR times they used hollow bricks, terracotta hollow bricks, or other weird materials. And then here next door earlier we found some really more contemporary white foam cement insulation Ytong blocks. Yeah, so that we used to identify which walls were older than others. Original is a matter of interpretation. Here you see some fachwerk, some timber frame. This looks actually pretty decent.
Oh, interesting. Big wooden beam, right?
Mm-hmm. So I meant with timber frame. Yeah.
Destruction time. This is one of the first days where we are going to take down the first walls. Can't wait to let some energy out into that space. No, it's quite new. As you have seen in some of the introduction videos of the space, the place has been transformed to become livable. There's a lot of small flats and therefore also a lot of walls that were erected at some point. They are not making any sense, so we're just taking them down.
So very large volumes were cluttered up year after year into smaller spaces, subdivided and interdivided once more and once again with walls of various qualities. So we're taking the ones down that are not relevant, and yeah, the amount of work sites on this property can't be counted on two hands. So it's maybe hard to follow which part of the building we are now going to work in, but basically we're going to work in the larger, what we often call main building.
Just the first piece already collapsed by itself. Good start.
All right, let's get
go.
cracking.
I did think of using the screwdriver, but I mean, this is also a way of working, of course. So this is work site number 1. Former bathroom and toilet. Here we remove the sanitary equipment, and afterwards that wall will go and this wall will go. So let's see how far we get today. The throne is departing. Here we go.
Le trône n'est plus. Good morning, and the work continues. What we started, taking down those walls, should be a job of another hour or two, and the first walls here will have gone down.
So this is just one roll down. Half the container full. Archie, have you expected that?
No, not really.
Roll number 1 down. We didn't count how many more to come, but one of many more. This one tiny roll that was here actually filled almost a complete container. We are a bit surprised by that. Maybe it was to be expected for some of you, but since this is new to us, it was a bit of a surprise how much material came together.